Yeah. Okay. Well, it's also on the Instagram. Opus, my bread. Opus, I ate mine. Okay. Well, it's also on the Instagram. I ate mine.
There's an office with a desk with a person in a chair, paper all of it, so you may be unaware. You for the paper, paying for the phone, paid their salary to deny it, but you're owed. United Health, there ain't no me in the company, there ain't no us in the private trust. It's hardly humans in humanity. The procedure that you need ain't the cost effective route, and only 2% of people end up winning a dispute. So if you get sick, pray to God for help, because all your doctor's prayers go up to United Health. Way back in 77, Mr. Richard T. Burke started buying HMOs and putting federal grants to work. Now it's 50 million bucks he made just last year. The Warren Buffett helped the Jeff Bezos severe. CEOs come and go, and one just went. The ingredients you got make the cake you get. So if you get sick, cross your fingers for luck, cause old Richard T. Burke gave out a bug. The modern has helped monopolize fraud. The doctors that we own and research that we bought, they own the loan and position. Pharmacies and meds, they should start selling grapes just to fuck you when you're dead. There ain't no you in United Health, there ain't no me in the company, there ain't no us in the private trust. There's hardly humans in humanity.
Signs, guys. Anyone have signs?
Oh, the sign, okay.
I have a sign.
I have a sign, okay. Wait, okay, question here.
Are you guys gonna start? Do you want to play music for the whole thing?
Okay. We're not ready to start yet.
Okay, so you want me to play start music until you're ready to start?
Yeah, right?
No, because we're not ready. Okay, but like either in here or like right here. We're doing, oh, because you don't know what we did at present. Oh, they're good. And show it.
You're on that.
Right here.
No.
With Geico.
Chris, you're not showing. Chris, you're not showing. Chris, now you sound like.
صباح الخير يا ولاد عمي بطلوا شرفونا شو بتحب نضيف دم عربي ولا دفوع من عيوننا بعد هيك تأملوا المستقبل في العقل لما تركموا على الهذا والصودا صاروا لابس المال يلبسوها كموضة ما تفنن فيها ما غيروا يا عربي بدنا عربي بدنا اياه ثقافتنا بدنا اياه كرامتنا بدنا اياه حنا بدنا اياه راح مثلا نسمح عن ده بقلب لبس هالطريق فيها نجم عالية فضل يعرفوا كيف يكونوا بشر فينا نذكر مين احنا وغصب عن ابوهم هالخطتنا احنا وطنيين يا عربي هيك لبسنا من الاساسي في الشعب العربي فرشوني اي امي بالدنيا اكثر مؤثره الصوره واضحه احنا محن الحضاره بيتنا وتراثنا الشاهد على وجودك هيك البسط من بلين جبل النار خلينا نعليها لفوق بالسنة أنا الثاني والعرب الثاني بحفظ.
Are we ready, Quran? Let us know when you're ready, man. Is the restream ready, Quran?
It's already going. Yeah.
So, live.
Perfect.
So all this stuff is going on?
Yes.
I'm glad it's not saying bad yet. I think we can go. And again, as slow as you can. please.
Hold it close to your face.
Anyone who's holding the microphone?
I am.
Your face. Are you passing it around?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, then anyone who holds it, hold it close. Okay.
Take your time, guys, please.
Wait till Rama's ready.
Yeah, let's wait for Quran to come. Okay.
Wait.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
You're gonna step up.
No more signs or? No more signs?
Here.
Yeah.
Here, I had the bread. Okay, want the bread?
I had it earlier, you get a chance.
No, fine, you can have it.
You
Where is this?
Yeah, take the
Okay,
bread.
guys. Ready?
Rahul just hold the sign.
All right.
Okay.
You have to let me know. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Ready?
We are doctors against genocide. We are here with a simple message. Bread, not bombs.
That the
Children
children
live.
Let the children eat.
We have no speeches, only one plea.
Let
the children eat.
Let the children eat.
This is not a symbol. This is survival.
Let the children eat.
Let the children eat.
We are not politicians. We are doctors.
Let the children eat.
Is feeding a child a crime? Is it too much to give bread?
Let the children eat.
Kids that die from starvation don't even cry at the end. Their little hearts just slow down and eventually stop, giving up on this cruel world.
Let the children eat. Let the children eat. Let the children eat.
I feel like if you want, do one more time, or is that fine?
No, Dr. Brennan, yeah, was here. She's gonna get it.
Perfect. Okay.
My name is Brennan Bowman. I'm an emergency physician, and I just returned 2 weeks ago from working in central Gaza. I entered Gaza just a couple of days after the complete blockade started. And for the past 8 weeks, zero aid, zero food. I was there as the World Food Program was forced to close its bakeries and household distribution several weeks ago during the festival of Eid al-Fitr that marks the end of Ramadan. And now everything has run out. 2 million people are starving. My Palestinian colleagues are doing the best they can to care for patients who survived the multiple horrific injuries of bombings. But the human body cannot heal without food. After I had been in Gaza for about 2 weeks, we were awakened by the most intense bombing, rattling the windows, shaking the building. At around 2 a.m. on March 18th, with no warning, the Israeli military started bombing everywhere in Gaza. Over the course of just a few hours, they killed 400 people, including 170 children, and injuring 550 others. Al-Aqsa Hospital, where I worked, received 68 patients and 23 dead on arrival. And that was one of the smallest mass casualty incidents at every single still functioning hospital in Gaza that night. Our Palestinian colleagues handled the crisis with preparedness and skill that outstrips the very best trauma centers in this country. But that number of severe injuries would drown any health system. Over the next 3 weeks, I saw entire families as victims, nearly half of them children. Their small bodies, severely broken, severely burned, broken apart, blown open. Children who survived lay in hospital beds afterward, and I expected them to be crying from the physical pain I knew they felt, but I then instead saw them stare blankly ahead, because although they had lived, they'd lost their siblings, their parents, their entire worlds. Through all of this, my Palestinian healthcare worker colleagues demonstrated for something for which I have no word, because it goes beyond compassion, beyond skillful dedication, beyond courage. They lost family members and returned to work the following day. They had to move their tents multiple times because now 70% of Gaza is under a no-go zone, even though they knew the areas to which they were told to evacuate were also getting bombed regularly. And they kept caring for their patients. As the Israeli military keeps bombing their hospitals, they keep working. We often hear the healthcare system in Gaza has collapsed. But that's not really true. Yes, nearly half of hospitals have been bombed to incapacity, and the remainder are only partially functional, not to mention the hundreds of destroyed clinics. Yes, the medicine and supplies will soon be completely exhausted. But the Palestinian nurses and doctors and support staff and the people coordinating the health system are still there working. They don't really need someone like me to volunteer. They need supplies to be allowed in. They need their bombs to stop. They need an immediate and permanent ceasefire. They need food for their patients and for themselves. They need this illegal and unconscionable blockade to end. We simply cannot abandon them.
Yeah. We are doctors. When we see what has just been described, we can feel viscerally, even if we're not there, the suffering that these patients are going through because we've seen it, been so close to it for our careers. This is what we do. We're not politicians. We're not strategists. We are human beings dedicated to ending human suffering. And to allow this to go on is just unconscionable. And even if people cannot bring themselves to share our compassion, please realize that this comes home. In my neighborhood now, we have a government that abducts people without charge and ships them off to foreign prisons. This kind of thing cannot be done. We cannot hurt others without hurting ourselves. To all my fellow Americans, please tell your government to return to the rule of law that is made to prevent all this. We have domestic laws that are designed to prevent this. We have international law that prevents this. Pay attention to our own values. We're better than this. We can stop this terrible thing going on in Gaza. That then gives us the moral fortitude to tell other governments to stop doing bad things, to end war, and turn ourselves to compassion for each other, even if it's only out of our own selfishness. If we allow this to happen to others, it will come home to happen to our children and our grandchildren. Please speak up. Be the decent people that we're meant to be. Thank you.
We are very much in our lane when we see the denial of essential elements of survival: food, water, electricity, and medicine. This is not collective punishment. This is a means of a genocide. As a physician, we took an oath to do no harm and to help those in need, those in suffering. The Palestinian people are suffering. Our healthcare colleagues who are risking their lives to provide healthcare to the Palestinian people are suffering. It's crazy to me that we have to be here today to make this statement. It's so sad. That we as humans cannot all recognize this injustice. Where is our morality? Where is our humanism? We are here today not just as doctors and healthcare workers, but as humans caring for humans. But the reality is that our tax dollars are being directly used to support this crime. We want our government to stop funding this genocide. We want our government to reinstate the necessary aid to the people of Palestine. And lastly, and probably most importantly, we need to raise this message as a part of our constitutional right for freedom of speech in this country so that others can recognize these injustices and stand with humanity.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sharad. I'm a first-year student at GW Medical School. In our first semester, we did a trip to the Holocaust Museum. And that trip was specifically to learn about the role that doctors had during the rise of Nazi Germany and the Holocaust. And learn about not only the horrific medical experiments that happened, but also all of the ways that doctors in Germany turned their faces when people were starting to get pulled off the streets. One thing that really stuck in my mind from that visit was the poem that many of you might have heard. It goes, it was by a German pastor who was reflecting on his inaction during the rise of Nazi Germany. He said, "First they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me." And that stuck with me because reflecting on what my role is as a future doctor, we speak out when people are suffering. Healthcare workers are generally mandated reporters, meaning that if we see a child or a vulnerable adult who's being abused or neglected, we have a legal responsibility to speak out about that. And that visit to the museum made me realize that we might not have a legal responsibility to speak about what's going on right now in Palestine, but we absolutely have a moral one and a professional one to name that our government is sending billions of dollars to kill children in another country. We have so many problems in our healthcare system today. There's people who can't afford healthcare and are dying every day from preventable diseases. There's people who are unhoused, who lack basic care. There's people who are struggling with addictions, mental health. Every single day in this country, people die that don't have to die if we put the resources into taking care of them. But instead, we're sending billions of dollars to bomb hospitals, to blow children's limbs off. We have a responsibility to speak out about this. And Martin Luther King Jr. said that when he spoke out against the Vietnam War, even though so many people told him not to speak out against the Vietnam War because it was going to undermine the civil rights struggle, because he was called anti-American for speaking out and saying that we shouldn't be bombing kids in Vietnam and burning them and their villages with napalm. But he said in his speech, a time comes when silence is betrayal. And as a future doctor, to stay silent about the killing of innocent children and civilians is a betrayal to the very reason why I decided to go into this profession, why I wanted to become a healer. So I will not stay silent. And I hope that you will also not stay silent. Thank you.
You everyone. We are a group called Doctors Against Genocide. And if you see us at your doorstep, this means you messed up. You did something wrong. Because as doctors, as nurses, as pharmacists, as healthcare workers, we should not be here. We should be working with our patients, taking care of our people, whether here or overseas. We are here only because DC has failed. DC has failed us. DC has failed America. DC has failed the Americans. DC has failed the world. We are here because the struggle from Gaza to DC is one. It's not a separate struggle. The children who are being mass slaughtered in Gaza are being killed by American bombs. Those bombs that we pay for them from our tax dollars, those tax dollars that we are defunding our schools and our hospitals here at home. So we need to stop looking at these different issues as separate. They are all one struggle. The victims are the same, whether they are in Gaza or in DC or in the neighborhoods of Detroit or downtown Chicago or everywhere in Africa. The victims are all the same. We, the people, are the victims. And the aggressors are also the same. The ruling class, the supremacy, the fascism, the capitalists, the elites, the hyper wealthy who are exploiting all of us to make more money, the war profiteers who are guiding our healthcare system here and defunding it and sending that as weapons to make more money for their hyper wealthy friends. The struggle is the same, and because the politicians have failed, it is our obligation as human beings, as Americans, as doctors, as healthcare workers, not to stay silent, as Sharad said. Thank you, Sharad, for your words. Taking off what Sharad said, Martin Luther King in 1967 said, the bombs that are dropped in Vietnam explode at home. The bombs we are throwing on Gaza children are echoing here by repressing our voices, by taking away our freedoms, our free speech, by taking away our programs for Medicare, for Medicaid, for education, for schools, for research. All these are the same. And Gerard also said that we do have the moral, the professional obligation not to stay silent when we see a genocide, when we see an injustice. It is our moral, our professional obligation to speak up. I just want to add to what Gerard said. There is also a legal obligation. We are all legally culpable if there is a genocide under the Genocide Convention, which has a universal direction. Every human being, not just the leaders, not just the ones who are silent in the halls of power, every human being, every citizen of the world, if they see a genocide, if they know a genocide is happening, they are legally culpable to speak up and try to do everything they can to stop it. It's not an option. It's not just a moral obligation. It is a legal responsibility and a legal duty. And anyone in the healthcare system, any doctor, any nurse, any hospital, any CEO who's making billions of dollars out of the war, if they stay silent, they are complicit and legally criminal and culpable for this genocide. We are calling on all our colleagues in DC, all over the United States, all over the world, all the healthcare workers. It is our oath that we swore to protect life, to protect the sanctity of life, to protect the children, to stop this before it gets worse and claims more and more people. This is how we save more, this is how we save more lives, by using our voice, our influence to stop these crimes. We will not stay silent anymore. And I'm gonna end with a chant that says, we all know it: the people united will never be defeated. 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 United will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. Disclose, divest, will not stop, will not disclose, divest. We will not stop, we will not test, disclose, divest. We will not stop, we will not test, disclose, divest. We will not stop, we will not test. Again, bread, not bombs. Bread, not bombs. Bread, not bombs. Bread, not bombs. Let the children eat. Let the children eat. Let the children eat. Let the children eat. We will not stay silent watching the kids starving to death. This is not who we are. This is our promise to humanity and to ourselves. Please, everyone, speak up, do more. We will not stay silent while the children are starving to death. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you all so much. That was beautiful. Back here at the welcome table, we've now got Echo doing an education on ending the Korean War. If anyone would like to stay, feel free to. We've got water that's cool over here. Let me know if we need any more cups. If anybody needs anything, let us know. Thank you.